A new web series called Black Warrant has taken the internet by storm. Based on the real-life experiences of jailer Sunil Kumar Gupta, the show follows the story of an idealistic underdog who becomes a jailer in Tihar. In a conversation with WION Samarpita Das, show creators Vikramaditya Motwane and Satyanshu Singh take us behind the scenes of this hit web show. Here's more.
It's about Mr. Gupta's, 35 years in jail, which he wrote with Sunetra together. It was published by Rolly Books. And Confluence Media, which is a journalist-led organization, picked up the rights to it. They called me up and they asked me if I wanted to adapt it. I read it. I got very, very interested in the book. I thought it was a fascinating, look into a prison life in the way we least expected. We normally expect to see it from, the life of the prisoners and jail escapes and, that kind of stuff. Here, it's stories and flipped, and you're seeing it from a different perspective about somebody who really wants to make a change a jail, and is walking into something that you don't know whether he'll survive or not. I thought that was fascinating, and the fact that it's actually real life was even better for me. I'm a huge history buff, so for me, I was immediately hooked. And prison dramas have always, at least in my mind, have always worked. So I'm curious as to why it's taken us so long to actually make a prison drama.
We were inspired by the real person himself. And when you meet Sunil Gupta, you wonder how could this man run a jail for 35 years? Because he comes across as a very warm and kind and a very regular neighborhood guy. And so that became a very interesting lens. When someone as normal as us goes into an ecosystem that is as dangerous as Tihar, what happens? And that juxtaposition was very, very interesting. He represents human spirit. He represents hope in that hopeless ecosystem.
I think there's a difference here between cop and jailer. I do think that there's, and I'll let Satyanshu kind of elaborate on this, but the main thing being that in a weird way, jailer is actually even lower than a cop in the hierarchy of things. That in the jail, yes, you're there, but in the hierarchy outside, cops will arrest somebody, throw them into jail, because then it's a jailer's responsibility to take care of what happens afterwards. So
it was a revelation for us that jailers are not treated as equals by the rest of the incarceration system.
Yeah, I definitely grew up at a time when Charles Subraj was, because he was still in jail and he was a figure, and you heard about this mysterious man called Charles Subraj and the serial killer and all that kind of stuff. So there's always been an urban legend about Charles Subraj, which I think is fascinating, and the fact that he was the one who got Sunil his job was something that, which is a true story, was something which is even better than fiction. The casting of Siddhant is actually quite an inspired. It's an inspired idea by Mukesh Chabra, and I think it worked out really well. He's such a fantastic actor and such a phenomenal hard worker. He has 5 appearances in the entire season. He has 5 scenes in the entire season, and it's such a minimal kind of thing. I think sometimes that adds to the mystique of the character. What Siddhant does a lot with his eyes in this one is quite fascinating.
The fascinating thing about that ecosystem is that every day something really extraordinary is going on there. So the ordinary life of the jail is actually quite extraordinary. Hiding of the weapons inside the ground, by digging inside the ground, that again was something that we got to know when we were in Tihar. We got to know about that. They are constantly surrounded by inmates. Every day of their life is dangerous.